All right, so we've got everything unboxed. We're going to kind of go through everything that we've got here today. We've got some big items, some of which I can already tell you that we're going to use, but maybe not necessarily how intended. But kind of going through what we got first. So first things first, we got a seat. So this is just a Summit Racing Special aluminum seat. I just wanted to get something in the car to be able to kind of sit, get it placed, figure out where I'm going to be in the car, and then we could start working on stuff like shortening the steering shaft, getting the wheel where I want it, getting comfortable with that. So the seat's the first thing there, but I already tried it out. It is wide. I ordered a 20-inch wide because I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to have any trouble fitting in it, and it's actually pretty big on me. I think I'm going to try and squeeze down to an 18, which after doing some checking in the car will be perfect because the seat mounts that are currently in it, there's 18 inches between them. So that'll be a nice tight fit that'll let me get the seat really low in the floor. We'll talk about that later. So this may become passenger seat in the future. But it got a nice cover with it as well, with a little bit of butt padding there, which wouldn't want to live without that. So that's kind of the big ticket item out of this, aside from, again, that 5-star body. It's an 03 Pontiac Grand Prix nose. So you can Google 03 Pontiac Grand Prix NASCAR, and it'll pull up some pictures of some stock cars. It's kind of what I'm going for with that. And then the 2 white tubes are sticker packs that we'll unroll one of those and kind of show you what I'm thinking with the nose of this thing. But seat, big item ordered. Might see if we can make that 20-inch fit. And if not, then we will kind of stash it until we get to the passenger side. I went ahead and ordered both right-hand and left-hand side supports for the seat, just because I do plan on road racing this thing, and I do want to be somewhat safe about it. And I figured that was just kind of a quick, easy way to prevent any problems that way. So with that, next big item we've got is the steering wheel. This is just a Grant wheel. It's literally, if you search it on Summit, it's called a Winston Cup wheel, which I thought was pretty fitting for what we're doing here. And I've got a quick release hub with it. So this is the correct spline for the stub that I've got. But unfortunately, that won't quick release with the stub that's on it. And this stub is designed to be a weld-on stub, so it's clear through, so we can't bolt that on. So we'll do some more figuring there, get the right stub distance, stuff like that, get that figured out. I would like to keep that removable for in the future. But these 4 packs, so there's 5 lug nuts in a pack. I went ahead and just got brand new lug nuts for this thing all the way around. I noticed it was missing a few, and I figured rather than dealing with rusty lug nuts that have been on here forever, figured go ahead and just order some new ones, and that way I can start fresh with that. This is a seat brace. This is stuff that I may not need. So this is a seat brace designed to bolt to the side of the seat, but I've already got that in the car if I go with an 18-inch wide seat. So I can probably return that back to Summit. Same thing with this. This is something that I saw. This is designed to bolt to the back of the seat, bolt somewhere on the chassis. I may still use this because this is just a nice piece and would help kind of secure the back, but I've got a couple ideas for the back as well. It also comes with some nice weld-on tabs and what looks to be some okay hardware at least. So the next thing, kind of still talking on the safety aspect, a set of 5-point belts, and I did decide to spring for the cam lock harnesses. So for those that have never used one and use the old lat style, all you have to do is twist this, and all of these disconnect, and you can get free rather than having to sit there and play with that latch. So with that helps a bunch. This one stays in because this is your submarine belt. That's always there, and that holds the cam lock. And then I broke down, my buddy Cooper has talked about these forever, so I bought a riv nut kit. So these designed to drill a hole in something and then you basically rivet this in, but it allows you to thread in a bolt. So makes it very handy for hanging stuff under a car, hanging wiring anywhere that you want to run a bolt in, something secure, fuel line, stuff like that. And then this is just a heavy duty rivet gun. Oops. That's all that is I figured we're going to be riveting a lot of sheet metal and everything else, so I might as well buy a good quality rivet gun. And that's all these are. Box of 250 button head 3/8 rivets. So I figured we'll need that for getting the nose swap done at least, if not more, and doing some interior items and stuff like that. So I did play around with the car, and I'll show you on the walk around video. The wiring does actually look pretty decent inside this thing, so it doesn't look like I'm going to have to completely start from scratch. For those that don't know, they mount the battery on these in front of the driver rear tire. You can actually kind of look in here. It's a little dark, but that is where the battery actually lives. And that power wire running up here to the master disconnect is still all there. A lot of times they use like a quick plug for the battery on these and not your normal kind of cable style. So we'll see what's back there. I did verify the temp gauge works today, so I'll show you guys that later, but I just took a blowtorch and just heated up around the sender. Temp gauge does work, so that's good there. And I think I saw the line for the oil pressure somewhere under hood. But what we're going to do right now is I'm going to bolt the steering wheel on this hub. Even though it won't latch, we'll at least have a steering wheel for rolling this thing around the shop. Alright, so I wanted to get a view from inside the car to share with you guys. Sorry if you hear my space heater in the background. It's about 20 degrees in Indiana today, so trying to stay warm. Basically, kind of bringing it back, this is more or less my view out the car. So no seat in it right now. I am sitting basically on a blanket on the floor. So thinking my next move is going to be to get an 18-inch wide seat that'll fit through the seat brackets that are already here. I'm sitting down in here between those same seat brackets. I'm comfortable. If I can get it down this low, my feet are pretty comfortable. If I can get the seat back as far as I want it to be, I can be pretty comfortable with it. Looking in here, you know, I've got some room. I'm going to be shifted to the side a little bit, so I've got some room here. My only concern is right here is going to be, but I'll have the seat there for this bar, but this top bar back here is going to be a little bit tight. So we're going to kind of see where we go from that. Like I was talking earlier, almost all the wiring appears to still be here. I would imagine under the dash the wiring is still very much the same, but you know, it's pretty nifty stuff, pretty trick stuff. Let me get you a view with the steering wheel on here. See if we can get that thing slid on. So this is kind of at my eyeballs, give or take a little bit. So the steering shaft needs to move back a little bit. There's one hole left to move it up, so maybe even two if I take out that middle one. But there's some adjustment there, so we can move that up. The pedal box actually isn't too bad. So I've got the throttle, you know, on there. It's got its stuck throttle release still on it. I got my foot resting on the clutch pedal right now. It is hard as a rock. It will not want to move. So I got to see what's going on there. And then the brake pedal in the middle. Brake pedal seems to work just fine, so we'll figure all that part out. But overall, you know, man. So tons of parts today. Go through and kind of figure out where those are going to live for the time being. Getting some paperwork done on trying to get a court order title to see if we might be able to make this thing street legal at some point. And then we'll talk a little bit about the potential Pontiac nose swap and kind of what I'm looking to do with that. All right, so I wanted to just kind of show off some of the really neat things about this thing. for somebody that may be looking to get into, a stock car as a track day car, just some of the things that, you get with something like this that's just really nice to have is a lot of adjustability. So I threw just kind of a blanket down in there to sit down in the car tonight and see where I would fit within the seat. Would I be comfortable? How do the pedals feel? How do I feel with the bars? The one main hoop there, I need to take that padding off to get some room for a helmet. But having room around me is something, having room around my head. And what's nice about this thing is the brackets are already there. So you see that bracket there, there's two more back here. Those brackets are already there. That's a bracket for a submarine belt. That mounted that far forward, I don't know, but I might cut and weld a bar right in where that blanket's sitting. But the steering shaft is a little low, but that's adjustable to move up. Realistically, I think I can move that up almost a half inch, and that would put that right where that needs to be. Do that, and that's going to put the steering wheel positioning a little bit better. So, got a hub for it. I need to get the right adapter there to get that on to where it'll latch. But we now have a steering wheel for it, so we're not fighting with a pair of vice grips to steer it. But this footwell in here is nice. The brake pedal, clutch pedal, stuff like that. Nice. I don't know what brand stuff it is yet. But like I talked about before, the just a dimple die footwell, stuff like a fireproof shifter sock, a fire suppression system that's wired up to put a fire out if that ever needed, hopefully not, fingers crossed. But, if I wanted to run a dry sump system, it looks like most of the stuff is here for that. It's got rear brake cooling ducts. Looks like already kind of set up underneath there from this NACA duct. So I think that's all pretty well set up. And I mean, it's all really well put together, safe stuff. So I'm just excited. There's just so much open possibility with this thing. We could really do a lot of different things with it. So with that, I think, nothing too crazy going on back here. That's all still pretty much the same. I got to figure out what I want to do with the tail panel, but I'll show you why I need to figure that out with what I've done with the front end. So we saw that Pontiac front end earlier, and the sticker kit I got for it is for a 04 to 06 GTO, and kind of just slap that on there tonight and just kind of taped it up to the nose that's already on there. Figure out a number. I don't know what I'm going to go with yet. Probably 72. It's my old football number. But we'll see. Whatever it is, the number is going to be day glow orange, because that's my favorite part about these Gen 4 cars. It's the bright, wild colors. So, more updates to come on that. We'll see what happens. I'm working on getting the paperwork done to get it street legal. So, we'll see how that process goes. I'm sure it won't be easy. It doesn't look like it's going to be too crazy, ridiculous expensive. I think I'm going to do a nose swap on it. Make it look like my GTO. And I think that'd just be really cool. Have the street version and the full race version. And see where it goes. I got to call the county sheriff out to have them do an inspection. See if they'll sign off on an inspection. And if they do, then that gets me one step closer. So, just follow along with that. And see where we go. So, but I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for taking the time. Like, share, subscribe. Leave any comments that you want, good, bad, and different. But tell me what you guys want to see with this thing. Give me some feedback. What you want to see done with this car, what you guys would do with this car. But let me know down in the comments, and love to hear from you guys. So we'll talk to you later. Hope you guys have a great night. Peace out.